Now, I have a bit of a theory as to why Princess Catherine won't return to royal duties until the end of the year. Now, we know she's recovering from, unfortunately, being diagnosed with the big C, which is absolutely devastating, of course. And we don't know how the medication's affecting her, how she's coping with it. And of course, she'd be very unwell with it, which is pretty sad. But apart from that, putting that aside, I feel that she's totally disgusted and embarrassed as what's going on with Harry and Meghan. Now, my theory is we all know that she's the beloved daughter in law of King Charles. She's the daughter that he's never had, obviously, and he totally respects her. Now, Princess Catherine has been in the family for a very long time. I think it's close to 20 years. Now, she was around the Queen for a lot of time. She knows how the Queen would think, her mannerisms, the way she would conduct herself, etc. Now, being so close to the King, I think gracefully, myself, Princess Catherine would have put to the King that it's time that something's done, regards to the children, and also regards to their titles. Now, I do not feel that they're sitting around having their scones and cucumber sandwiches, which are quite nice actually. I don't think they're sitting around over a cup of tea and refreshments laughing at this Nigerian trip. I feel, my theory is that this was the last step, the last nail in the coffin, the last thing that's actually infuriated them. And I feel Princess Catherine has said, until something is done, I'm not coming back to royal duties, because she's totally ashamed and embarrassed of what they're trying to do to the monarchy and the good things that the late Queen had done in all the time that she's been a monarch. Princess Catherine would be absolutely disgusted with what's going on. Not only disgusted that she was called a racist, but how they're portraying themselves out there in the world, in the media. Now, let's not forget King Charles has come across a woman like this in his life before. Unfortunately, the late Princess Diana had these kind of mannerisms. She tried to alienate King Charles with his friends and family and tried to put all these big demands on him. And it wasn't until after the birth of Harry that things absolutely went pear-shaped in their relationship, and that's when he decided that enough was enough with this woman's demands. He wasn't going to dance to her tune anymore, and he put his foot down and put himself first. Now, with Harry and Meghan, he's let them go off and basically put a rope around their own neck, in my opinion, and see how soon they will just destroy themselves. But this last trip and the way they've carried on being royals without saying that they're royals, and him inspecting the military and all that kind of stuff, like, how dare he do that? You know, he's had no training in doing that. I feel that this is the time King Charles is really going to put his foot down. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers out there are saying, oh, King Charles is behind this and he's supporting them and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't believe so. I believe that behind the scenes things are happening. Why this sudden snap in election in the UK? Does that not ring any alarm bells? I feel that once this new parliament comes in and the king has his say, we know that it has to come from Parliament, the stripping of titles, etc. I feel that the bill will be passed. Now, whether I'm right or wrong, that's yet to be seen. We'll have to stay tuned and see. But I feel Princess Catherine has got a lot to do with this, because she's ashamed to come back into the public eye with what's going on with Harry and Meghan. So that's why they're waiting for everything to, in my opinion, to unfold before she comes back and absolutely blows the internet up with her return. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts? Because something is going on behind the scenes that obviously they're not going to tell us. But there's got to be steps done properly and put in place, obviously. They're not going to let the public know. But I feel she's too disgraced to come back while everything is so up in the air. Of course she's healing from her illness, but I feel her and King Charles have had a lot of heart-to-hearts, and she would say to King Charles, look at what they're doing to the Queen's legacy. He would be ropeable, King Charles. And there's no way in the world, in my opinion, that he wants them back in the UK and part of the royal family. He can't even spare 5 minutes to see his son when he's travelled halfway across the world. He could clearly clear his calendar. We've seen that this week, them cancelling royal engagements due to the election. Of course he could clear his calendar to see his son for a day or 2 or 3 or however long he wanted to catch up with his son. He does not want to see him. And he's made that public knowledge to put the message out there that their relationship is really bad. If that doesn't speak volumes, what does? And then Harry puts out puff pieces that, we couldn't catch up with him. No, your father doesn't want to see you. You know, there comes a time in our lives as parents, and I don't know about you guys, but remember when your kids are teenagers and they turn around and go, oh, I hate you? Well, my response to that was always, and I love you, but I just don't like who you are right now. I don't like your behaviour. I'm sure King Charles has said this to his son, and I'm sure he will put this out there, and when the stripping of the titles comes, that he does not approve of the things that his son has done. It's time we know about the children. It's time we know if the children are safe, whose children they belong to, if they are in the line of succession. And if this dumb broad Meghan, in my opinion, went and got a DNA test done, which we know she didn't, well, whoever she got the DNA test done from, they've got that in their database now. If she did. She probably didn't, but they've actually got her DNA in the database now. So what does that tell you? She's not very smart, is she? Absolutely not very smart at all. I can't wait for Princess Catherine to come back. It's going to be an absolutely crazy time on the internet and in the newspapers, everywhere. I just hope the mainstream media report it correctly. And honestly, because we know they don't report things correctly. Have you seen the Nigerian princess being reported correctly? The First Lady of Nigeria? Have you seen it in the mainstream media? Probably not, because they're not going to report anything negative, are they? Let me know what you think. Catch you on the next one.